What's going on, guys? It is your boy Oh Gosh, and today I'm going to be talking about plugins that I use quite often that are absolutely free, right? So when you hear the word free, you get excited because that means you ain't got to spend any money. When it comes to plugins, usually when you see free or hear about a plugin that's being free, it's because it's a beta version that's being tested. It's either a light version or a version of the plugin that's not the full plugin. It's just like, you know, we'll give you some of the attributes that the plugin has, but not the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We won't give you the full content, but we'll give you, you know, a taste of what the plugin does. But these plugins in particular are plugins that aren't the full plugins. They're super dope. Like I said, I use them quite often, and this can definitely level up your production quality. It will definitely level up your sound design, which is super dope. And there's some cheat codes. Like, there's super cheat codes that can make you make dope stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what matters. And I think it's dope that these companies put out these plugins. So let me go ahead and show you what these plugins do, what they are, who makes them, and all those good things. All right, guys, what's going on? We are now in FL Studio. So let's go ahead and go over the first plugin. I'm going to go through them one by one. So the first one I'm going to go over is called Beat Timer. That's this plugin right here. What this plugin does is pretty self-explanatory. It's called Beat Timer. So pretty much what it does is it times your beats, right? You can set timers for how long you feel like you should be making your beats. It goes as low as 5 minutes, like that. And it goes all the way up to an hour. The cool thing about this is just for you to kind of like exercise your beat making skills. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can like sharpen that pen, if you will, when it comes to producing. The super dope thing about this as well is that if you click this calendar button right here on the left-hand side, it shows you these streaks, these achievements on here. So right here it says build a 7-day streak for your first reward. So what that means is if you do 7 days of using the Beat Timer and you're tracking it, you get a free pack off of our Slap Experts website. So make sure you go ahead and go to slapexperts.com and download this plugin for free, and you'll be able to get free packs from doing these achievements. And as you can see, the achievements go down, and the more you do, the more. So there you have it. So that's, like I said, that's super self-explanatory, super dope. All you got to do is hit this play button, and it starts the timer. And go ahead and start producing, you know, get those producer skills up. And it tells you right here in the bottom right corner how many streaks that you've been using the plugin, which is super dope. So if you forgot, you're all good. The plugin will help you keep track of that. The next plugin that's super dope, Valhalla Super Massive. All right, so this plugin is pretty intuitive because it's simple. As you can see, it's not a bunch of knobs going on. And it also has like it has delay. It has reverb, echoes, and sound effects. So this is a super dope plugin to use for sound design, like creating dope, you know, like one shots, or if you want to do some crazy like drum manipulation. This plugin is super dope for that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this plugin on a sample that I have right here on this beat that I made, so you can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. Here is the beat without the drums. This is the sample that I got right here going on. So I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna just choose a random preset. I'm gonna let's go to echo, let's go to bouncing ball verb. You know what I'm saying? It's super cool. So what's super dope about this plugin is that you don't have to really go in on the sound design. There's so many presets that are crazy that you can just go ahead and just go through the presets and just pick one and go about your day. I mean, unless you really want to go into the sound design and manipulate the plugin, you have free range to do so. But this plugin is super dope. Usually when I use it, I just go through the presets and I just kind of go about my day. I just turn it on, click a preset, and go about my day. And it's super subtle too, which is super dope. Alright, so the next plugin I'm going to talk about is Isotope Vinyl. Right? This plugin is super clean. I like the way it looks now. It had a massive GUI update. I'll try to see if I can find a picture online of the old one and put it next to this one so you can see how crazy they did the update. Because the old one was super dope and it was simple to use. But this one is just fire. Like, there's no way this plugin should look this nice, and it's free. But it is, and we're not going to complain about it. So, Isotope Vinyl, it's pretty self-explanatory as well. It's a plugin that makes your whatever signal that is receiving sound like it's playing through a vinyl. As you can see, it has like little record spinning, which is super clean. They have a lot of different things that you can do in this thing now. Like, they have this lo-fi button down here that you can click. They have this wear button. Let me turn the plugin on so you can like hear what it does. So if you want, you can set these different year presets that they got here, like 1930, 1950. So all it's really doing is like kind of EQing out a lot of the frequencies the more you go down, because obviously back then we didn't have the range to pick up as much frequencies as we do now when it comes to recording. But yeah, I think that's super dope that they have it that way. They have this lo-fi button. It kind of adds like a little like a 8-bit sounding feel to it, which is pretty cool. This warping this warping fader just makes it like kind of warp, like it goes in between keys in a sense. You can add electrical buzz to your signal. You can add a mechanical sound effect to it, which is pretty cool. Oh, and that's super cool, the spin down button. So if you ever want to do like a tape stop effect with whatever signal with whatever like sample or whatever you're using, you can just click it and record it in, and then you have it, which is super fire. All right, the next plugin I'm going to talk about is mad simple. It's called Wider. So this plugin right here is a stereo imaging plugin. It's literally just one button, as you can see right here. The more you turn it up, the more wider your sound gets, the more it spreads out, you know, the signal. And I'll go ahead and show that to you right now. See how it phases, how it gets wider? So if you have like a sound that's like one directional, that's like just split down the middle, doesn't have much going on, you can use this plugin to make it a little bit wider. I use this typically on like horns, sometimes vocals. You can use it on anything, but it's actually kind of dope on 808s. So definitely to get this plugin and try it on stuff and trying to get like a more wider sound. All right, so last but not least, this is my favorite plugin. I use this probably in every single beat. It is called Sound Delay by Voxengo. This plugin right here has saved my life when it comes to editing beats and achieving swing. So the last but not least plugin that I'm going to talk about, it's called Sound Delay, which is this bad boy right here. So this plugin is super dope because it's for one, is mad simple. It might look complex, but it's not as crazy as you think. It can get complex for sure, depending on how you want to move things. But let me actually explain what it does. So pretty much sound delay delays the signal that it gets. So like whenever you have something on grid and you want to move it over, this is that plugin that you use to shift the sound over. So like for example, when I do my hi-hats, I will go to the sample and go to the miscellaneous functions and then go to shift, go to the time module, and then I will turn the shift knob up, right? Like so. So right now the hi-hats is super straight on the grid, but you would use the shift knob to shift those hi-hats over to achieve that swing. See how it's like offsetting the hi-hats now? When you start making your drum swing, it's time for you to start getting that sample to swing or your melodies to swing. So the sucky part about that, when you get to your samples, you have a miscellaneous functions tab, but you don't have a time module where you can shift it and move it off grid. So usually back then, before I discovered this plugin, you know, I would have to go to the grid, zoom in, and like move it over a little bit and kind of play with it till I got the swing that I wanted. But the sucky part is, if I didn't remember that I did that, you would have issues like this where the sample is now off grid at the end. So whenever you copied it over, so say I wanted to copy this whole section over of the beat to like make it like an 8-bar or whatever the case, like I just copied it over, now everything is off grid. You get what I'm saying? So now you can keep everything on grid. Here, let me fix that really fast. So now with this plugin, I can keep everything on grid and just shift it by using these knobs right here. I don't know what the numbers mean as far as like the 0.01, the 0.1, the 1, the 10, like how many, if it's milliseconds or if it's samples or whatever the case. I just usually use the X10 because that's where you can start hearing the shift. So let me play the sample with the metronome so you can hear how offset it gets. All right, let me go ahead and turn it on. All right, see how the sample is perfectly on grid. So once I start moving it, you can see that it's starting to get off grid. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it to 2. And the more you turn it up, you hear how it's shifting it off grid. So now you're getting like that super tasteful like swing in your beats with your melodies, which is why I love this plugin. If you watch my streams, you know for a fact that I use this plugin all the time. This is my go-to plugin for achieving swing. And now I'm gonna shift the hi-hats with it. See how now it has like some swag to it. It's like a little off, but it feels good. You know what I mean? So that's what that plugin's for. If you want to get crazy with the swing, you can go higher than the X10 and go to 100, or you can go to 1000. You don't really need to mess with those ones. It's really just the X10 and the X1 that you want to mess with to kind of get that swing. But yeah, Sound Delay is my favorite plugin that's free. So definitely hit the link in the description and download that. Alrighty guys, thank you guys for watching. Those are my 5 favorite plugins that I use that's absolutely free. I will have all the links down in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe, and hit that notification button so whenever I drop a video, you know that I dropped a video. Alright, you guys have a good rest of your day. I will see y'all next time. Peace.